Crypto, it is at a key range I think everyone should be paying attention to right now. And if we reclaim this key resistance range here, I think things are going to be looking a lot better for Bitcoin sooner than later. What I'm talking about is Bitcoin here, of course, which I have been talking about for almost every day actually for the past this year, okay? Because I've been coming back to my channel this year since the last time I've done anything on my channel back in 2023 before the last bull cycle. But this time I'm going to be around for the entire bull cycle here, and I'm going to be sharing my ideas and insights with you and what I'm seeing here on the charts so everyone watching my channel can get a better edge on this market. Now, what I'm seeing for Bitcoin here is that it is at a resistance range, basically where all your longer term moving averages are, including your weekly 21 SMA, currently at about, that's basically right where the price action is right now. Basically, it has Bitcoin fell below it last week, which looked bad because it actually broke down from this huge bearish pattern. It is a rising wedge pattern here, which is a bearish pattern that usually breaks to the downside. Breakdown target of this pattern here would be almost 80,000. If Bitcoin went all the way to 80,000, that is going to be catastrophic for the altcoins because it is the driver of this crypto market. So you want to be rooting for Bitcoin. You don't want to see it dumping. I am looking for an opportunity to get back into a long position for Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here, even after getting some of my leverage positions liquidated 2 Fridays ago. I'm still in this market. I still have not given up on you guys. I still have not given up on this market as well. So my opinions on these markets right now, on crypto markets, is bullish. However, these are just my opinions and not financial advice like the entirety of this video, and you guys should form your own opinions and strategies. So weekly time frame, we're at a weekly moving average here. 3-day time frame, you guys can see that we're also at the shorter term moving averages here in this range. Daily time frame as well, we're hitting that daily 21, daily 50, all at about that range of where we are at right now to, I would say, about 115,000. So very important that we reclaim 115,000 before expecting any more upside. Of course, the real resistance is going to be the previous all-time high at about 126,000. In between 115 to 126 is going to be the bottom trend line of that rising wedge pattern, which in this case is kind of tricky because it's a rising bottom trend line. So I'm going to be sharing my opinions with you guys as we retest that bottom trend line if we do, right? It's not uncommon to see it does, breaking down below a rising wedge, and then for charts or markets to go back and retest that resistance. Very important that we retest it and don't get rejected because that's gonna be a wise man once said the kiss of death. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look into. We're also gonna be taking a look into some major news, crypto and economics news, as well as some altcoins. We're gonna be taking a look into Curve, DAO, which is CRV, right? CRV, eCash, as well as Peak Network, and see what's happening with these altcoins. Has anything changed since the last time I've talked about them? I'm gonna show you guys my charts and show you guys what I'm seeing on my charts and what the probability is in any of these coins moving in a certain direction. So let's go ahead and dive into the news first before going deeper into the charts here. First piece is by You Today. What's after $100,000 Bitcoin and $4,000 gold? Bloomberg strategist reviews prediction. So let's read a little bit into this news here, even though I'm not too much into mainstream news. But let's read into it. Bloomberg intelligence strategist Mike McGlone continues a series of analyzing the emerging tendencies in financial markets with a fresh prediction of what may come after Bitcoin at 100,000 and gold at $4,000. Okay, so let's see here. Let me see if I can. Is there anything that shows his main point here? His commodity breakdown underscores the same pattern. Gold's upside case still points to $5,000. Yeah, I mean, even though it's been very overheated, but I do think that gold, which, it could be rotating into Bitcoin, and if any portion of gold rotates into Bitcoin, the market cap wise, I mean, that's going to be huge because gold, last time I checked, had a market cap of $28 trillion. Crypto is only at 4 trillion, not even. Okay, so if any portion of that rolls into crypto, that is going to be major. Okay, and so let's see what happens. I don't think he really has any other points to say here, right? Bitcoin's parabolic run and gold surge both show stretch conditions, prices at peaks, not floors, and the next shift may redirect money flow into the most overlooked but stable assets. Really, U.S. government debt, as the interest rates are decreasing. I disagree with that. I think, with the Fed funds rate decreasing, I think that's going to drive cheaper money into the markets, risk on assets, as we have seen back in 2020, 2021, and of course the 2010s. So I disagree with this analyst here. Let's go ahead and go to coin. Next one is by Coinpedia. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP rally as U.S. China trade breakthrough lifts global markets. So that was initially the news that crashed the markets 2 weeks ago. Let's see what's happening here. U.S. President Trump has begun his first Asian tour of his second term, with the U.S. and China reaching a trade framework ahead of the Trump-Xi meeting. Trump signed a trade deal in a critical minerals pact with Malaysia, while also overseeing peace declarations between Thailand. Okay, so that sounds pretty good. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's anything conclusive yet, but it sounds constructive, more constructive than what we saw 2 weeks ago, at least in my opinion. Let's go ahead and go to the next piece here. Is by You Today as well. 40x Bitcoin long spotted in the wild. Someone expects 120,000. Let's see here. I mean, that's the leverage multiple, right? I mean, how much is this guy really betting? I mean, that's the more important. That's the more important piece, right? Because you could be 40x long, but you can be only betting $100, with a margin of $2.50, right? So, that left out that important piece, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's 40x long. I mean, how much is he really betting? So if you guys want to read more into this news here, you guys can. It's in TradingView. It could be entertaining sometimes, and there is a lot more important news in the markets. If you guys don't have TradingView, I highly recommend that you guys get a subscription. I have been using TradingView for the last 5+ years, and I don't think I would have made it in this market if it wasn't for it. I have an affiliate link in the description section below. If you guys sign up using my link, that supports my channel. Let's go ahead and go to the next piece here, which is by News BTC. Bitcoin reserves on Binance fall to July lows. What happened in July? July was actually a very good month, okay? Even though it was a fake out, right? But it was still not a bad month. What this means for price? Bitcoin has performed strongly below expectations in October, with total monthly gains now estimated at about 1.54% following a bullish start, which established a new all-time high at about 126,000. The premier cryptocurrency experienced a heavy correction mid-month, resulting in present price around 111,000. Amid these developments, crypto analysts Taha has noted a recent shift on the Binance network with potentially bullish implications for market participants. So from what I observed, if there are low Bitcoin, low volume of, if there's like less Bitcoin on the exchanges, that's actually very good, because that usually means that people aren't selling their Bitcoin. The point of putting, spotting Bitcoin, a lot of Bitcoin on these exchanges, is that they are usually going to sell these Bitcoin. However, if there is fewer Bitcoins on these exchanges like Binance, that is good for for the bulls, because that usually means that there's going to be less selling pressure, right? So let's go ahead and go to you guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But let's come over here to altcoins now. Okay, we're gonna first take a look into Peak Network weekly time frame. Okay, what has Peak Network been doing here? Not much. It has been holding above this upper trend line of this pattern I've talked about for quite some time. Okay, this is the beauty of technical analysis. When you see the market, see what you see, and basically, right, for the last couple of weeks here, this tells me the market is seeing what I'm seeing, which is a breakout of this falling wedge pattern with the price target to be about above 27 cents here for Peak Network. Now, price targets are estimates only, okay? There could be more, there could be less, a lot of which does depend on what happens with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dumping from here, these altcoin setups, they're not going to matter very much, okay? So very important to be remembering Bitcoin. Now, since the breakout here, Peak Network has been holding above this upper trend line, okay? So in this case, that tells me that this breakout is still valid. Now, the last week's candle is very close, okay? But to me, that is still above the upper trend line there, okay? Let's take a look into a smaller time frame. See if I can get any more clues on what Peak Network could be doing on a smaller time frame. 4 hour, okay? This is a cup and handle pattern, okay? And with the neckline to be about 96 cents, okay? 9.6 cents, cup and handle pattern. Now, we don't have exactly 3 candles touching on the upper trend line here, but I mean, to me, this is it looks very established cup and handle pattern here. As you guys can see, we have the cup portion and the handle portion basically formed. Now, cup and handle patterns are bullish patterns that usually break to the upside. If it does, the price target would be about 12 cents for Peak Network, okay? Always have to mind the downside as well, because I've seen cup and handles break down. As with a lot of these, patterns, right? Even though they have a higher chance of going in one direction, they still have a lower chance of going the other direction, right? We're all just talking about probabilities here. Nothing in this market is for certain. So this is what I'm seeing for Peak Network. Let me go ahead and go to eCash, XEC. Let's take a look into the weekly time frame here. This is the weekly time frame for XEC, and the pattern I pointed out last time is still holding. And this is probably the most common pattern you guys will see, which is a falling wedge pattern. And they are bullish patterns that have a higher chance of breaking to the upside. Let's just say if it breaks out by this point, for example, price target would be about 0.00004 zeros and 82. That is the price target here. Let's see if it actually breaks out to the upside and meets that price target. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame and see if I can get any clues on what could be happening. I don't see anything on the smaller time frame currently, but there is divergence playing out right now. What divergence is also very important, especially if you guys are new to this market. That's basically what this is bullish divergence, right? Where you basically see equal or lower lows. However, you see equal or higher lows on the RSI. That tells you that the bears are actually losing strength, right? And a reversal is usually likely to come. And we're seeing that reversal right now, okay? Let's see if XCC could actually break some above some of these resistances, including your 12-hour 50 SMA, right? The white line here right now. Let's go ahead and go to the next one, which is Curve DAO, CRV, and this is a older coin that has kind of held up its ranks, okay? It is still top, I think it's still top 100 here, okay? And what I'm seeing for Curve DAO is it's very interesting because it basically shows you what I've been charting for this coin. And as you guys can see, these are falling wedges that broke to the upside. Some have, not met its price targets, and some have. Okay. So this just illustrates to you that this pattern is very simple, very effective. Of course, you still need to risk manage because not all of them will hit the price targets, and some of them will still continue going down after a breakout, as you guys see here. But what I'm seeing here for the latest for CRV is that it has met the price targets basically to the T of this of this pattern here I've talked about a couple of months ago, probably. Okay, and it still met the price targets. And right now, it is basically at the bottom trend line of this smaller falling wedge pattern. Okay, held above it even after the crash 2 weeks ago. Price target, if it breaks out by this point, for example, price target would be about 95 cents for CRV, which is still pretty huge. There is a major resistance for CRV, which is the weekly 200 SMA, the orange line here at about 90 cents. That's going to be coming down, right? So that's something to be paying attention to. That is one of the key resistances on this time frame. So this is basically what I'm seeing. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame here for curve. Curve here. There's a potential cup and handle pattern that could be forming at about 65 cents. Okay, I'm saying potential because it is not completely formed yet, but there is a somewhat of a rounded bottom formation here, and rounded bottoms usually turn into cup and handles if you think about it. So this is basically what I'm seeing for some of these coins. Let me know if you want to continue seeing any more Curve, eCash, or Peak Network, or any other coins in this market by dropping a like, comment, subscribe. I'll pick a request to you for you guys on a daily basis, and I'll see you on the next one.